Who doesn't want a friend that's always there, that never leaves them, that's always consistent? They always respond the same way. They always make you feel a little bit good about yourself. They give you goals and you meet them. You get new achievements and you feel like you've made it. You finally have someone, something that loves you. But it's just a game. It's just an illusion. And you've spent all your time, all your money on something that's just nothing. What do you do now? So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time.
I liked it a lot.
Technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Enjoyed it. Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. Taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning. This podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles.
Boom, 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 boom. Excuse me.
Get ready for this one. All right, so I'm Dan.
Ooh, and I'm Nick, folks. This is nuts. Are we really doing an Unpanders on
Gaming addiction.
factorial addiction? I thought it was one specific game. Yeah, I thought it was just one game. You mean games in general?
1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial. Oh my goodness.
Dear. This could be bad.
Okay.
What are we going to do?
So I'll preface this. We're the Unpanders. And I played this game for what says 66 hours in the past 2 weeks. Which is impossible. But I probably did leave it running for some portion of that.
Okay. I was going to figure out your running time. Can you leave it running to generate some kind of resources or something? That'd be sneaky.
It'll make sense, yeah. It'll be inherently obvious when I play this. I'll load this up and show you what I've done in the last 66 hours. I haven't slept
incredible.
for 3 days.
I've always wanted to watch you play Factorios.
Wow.
It's Factorios?
That's Factorio. Factorio.
Oh, okay. Factorio. Interesting. That sounds like a great game.
Yeah. I'll preface this by
Let's bring it up.
having family around constantly, kids that don't go to daycare, constantly in your face. They're on your back. They're watching something next to you. You yearn for a little piece of, like,
Quiet.
your own little island. Yeah, a thing you could zone out into.
Factory.
And I didn't have that for, like, 3 months, so I couldn't find it. And then, like, obviously, games have this, like, completionist, perfectionist, like, OCD, like, I did it, it's done, like, aspect to them. Most of them do. And I was searching for that in this game, and I was like, oh, I finally feel like I, like, perfected something and it's complete. Whereas, like, everything else in my life is just kind of like, it just kind of goes. And, like, you you reach a certain point and it just keeps going, and you're just like, where's, like, the achievement? Where's the, like, ding, like, you did it. Like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen when you get older.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
I guess in real life you don't get a lot of those, do you?
No. It's a congratulations, you graduated, like, 13 years ago, and you're just like, fuck.
That might be the last thing you get, right? Your graduation of some sorts. Congratulations, you had a kid. Yeah. Now you have to take care of it. Congratulations. Yeah.
You got a raise, but it's going to drag down all your other raises from now on until they're lukewarm.
No. I just thought of that. Is this all diminishing returns? Is that what this is going to end on? Is that what this is going to be all about? Is that what everything is?
I hope so. It's not life.
All right. So
or not. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
So for the record, I don't know if I said it. I'm Nick. Wow, that would be terrible. Anyway, I hope you know that by now.
Definitely said it.
Okay, good. Anyway, I've never played this game. I've never really seen it. It's on my wish list in case anyone really wants to buy it for me. If you do, you'll also have to buy me free time, so don't buy it for me.
Free time is
just
really
on my
expensive.
wish list. I'm more looking for the free time to play it than I am the game itself. So, a little word to the wise. We're going to check it out here if we can do this technologically.
I'm gonna pretend to do a tutorial here. I should have said I'm just gonna do a tutorial, but the beginning gets you a good feel. So let me switch around here. just bring
Is there
this
going to be
all up.
audio to this? Just out of curiosity.
There's a slight background music that makes it kind of curious, which
Soothing. Oh, okay.
I didn't listen to any of the music as I did this. Like, I had no earpieces at all when I played the game, which makes it kind of interesting that I didn't know what the music of the game was like. And
yeah, that's part of the game.
Yeah. It's never...
Whether it's great or not.
No. This is the first time I'm listening to it now. I don't think the game actually has audio. I think it's just like you building stuff. They say, like, I'm just making this up now. Okay, so let me share my screen with Nick.
Please.
Let me close that one out there. Wrong button. Let me click there. Hold on a second. And then I'm going to switch over to this one with game. Oh, that's recursive logic here. It's going to confuse you. And you can see this, right, Nick?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see myself in like reverse slow counter motion.
And make sure we got this. Yeah, we're all good here. All right, I'm going to load this game. Now, I played this once before 10 years ago. And I have a bunch of saves that were half from 10 years ago.
When did this game come out?
I started like 2013, so maybe 7 years ago.
Okay, I was just curious.
By the way, it was made by a guy younger than me when he was younger than me now. And it made like $3 million, and I think he retired once he finished this game.
Not looking good for you here, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so it gives you a little tooltip when you first start. Your whole thing, you see this?
Mm-hmm. Boiler
connector. Yeah, so when you first start out, you have these minerals. There's like coal, copper, iron is blue, it's over there. And then you get stone, which no one gives a shit about stone. Anyway, you move these things around, and eventually you make it so you have machines that take care of all the shit that you need to do.
Machines that take care of your machines.
Yeah. The way you first start is you have to like mine something like that, right? Really tedious, takes a lot of time. If
One
you need
coal.
One
coal.
Yep, see that?
One coal.
So
you should also invest in a better graphics card. I'm just saying.
This game doesn't get any better. Sorry. So what these things do is that they automatically mine and they feed each other. So this is the first like automated thing, right? Because now it's mining coal and then it produces coal, and the arrow means that it gives it coal, and that one's mining coal, so it gives it more coal. Just reciprocal over and over again. More and more coal, and then you have to grab it. And when you grab it, you start to build more of these things, and then you put more of these things in ways that like they feed coal and they take copper or iron or whatever the hell you're doing. So, in short, this game plays on some sort of like subconscious OCD of like, oh, it'll take care of itself, right?
Perfectionist type thing. You have to have all your angles and the quickest way to do something, the most proficient way.
Yeah, and all the ratios. You're like, oh, this produces 3 of something, but this uses 4 of something. I need exactly 8 of these things to make it. And it's just like your whole brain goes crazy because you're trying to balance things. And you can already see like there's conveyor belts like automatically producing stuff. And I don't know why those aren't on. That's bothering me so much. They should be producing stuff, but they're not. I don't know why not. Produce stuff. Okay, never mind. I'm going to skip up past that. So anyway, you first start out, and then you finally get like these little machines that produce like more material. And then they pump stuff into like a conveyor belt, which then keeps moving, keeps moving, keeps moving. Just ignore all this other stuff. Just keeps moving, and then finally it comes down to these machines, which are fed with coal and copper, and then they produce plates.
Huh.
And just watch it now for a moment.
Okay.
It's like a refined version of copper. There's a slight background noise of all these things moving, and it's just like, it's very serene. So they all do this. They all like have refined stuff. So this is like iron, and then iron can become steel. So you have like refine, double refine, and then you have like stone somewhere that does the same thing. It makes like a stonier stone, and then a stone.
Stonier stone, of course. Yeah. What did I expect?
Yeah. And then they like go into base materials. So like
What's that? They all go to the central unit or something?
Yeah, so like you build these like assemblers, and then it becomes like wire, and then wire like with mixed other materials, which are all these little things, like grab them.
A lot of copper makes wire, let me tell you that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can sell me some of this someday. Oh, how many of these how much does that cost?
Well, it depends on how many feet are on that reel and what kind of gauge we're talking about. Not to mention stranding size and then a couple other odds and ends I can get into. Are they shielded or not?
I can't wait. Idea. This is enthralling. Oh my goodness. So these things, like, they all build up. You know, you're watching this stuff go, and the reason it's all building is to, like, upgrade some crappy research, which is right here. And this pisses me off because I thought I was going to complete it, but these go to infinity. I see that little infinity sign? Means you can upgrade it indefinitely. Fuck you, stupid game. I was like, I finally completed something in life, and I was, nope.
Not quite.
So we're just going to sit here and watch the machines for a moment.
Follow you at the same time.
So what do you take from this initially, Nick? You're just like, okay, that's nice.
Well, two things. One, I think the video feed is a little stilted or like jump-starty. So like it's a little, which means it's not perfect. So I can't 100,000% tell as you were going along. I get the idea for it though. Yeah. And it reminds me of I'm trying to think of it reminds me of
Dr. Mario popping those pills.
No, not Dr. Mario, who is an unlicensed physician. You might have to remind everyone.
Don't believe him. He doesn't have a degree.
I've never seen it, at least. What's the game?
Tetris?
Warcraft meets...
Yes.
You know
Starcraft.
how you... Yeah, excuse me. Oh, Jesus Christ, StarCraft. Because, like, you build bigger things to mine more material. Yep. And essentially, it's a feedback loop, so you can get bigger and bigger stores and supplies. Mm-hmm. But also combined with, like, maybe a little bit of Tetris, maybe a little bit of... there's a game that's on the tip of my tongue, and I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of it. This game.
It has the kind of the backdrop of an older game, like Command and Conquer or something.
I think it may be some sort of Sims roller coaster type thing.
Yep.
Like, instead of people enjoying the rides and giving you positive feedback, and you reinvesting into the people, reinvesting into the rides, reinvesting into this.
You trap them in a corner and then you milk them for all they're worth.
Yeah, well, that's what you're doing with the resources here, correct?
Yes, you're milking the crap out of them. So
so
you get to a point where you're just like building.
Did you build all this right now?
Yeah.
It was incredibly quick the way you built it all, because I can't. And I know you've played the game enough and like kind of perfected it, so you have a system for this. This is your system, I assume.
The weirdest thing was that when I first started this game 7 years ago, I didn't know anything. And when I started it last week, I still didn't know anything. Like, I had a sense that, like, this green circuit thing and the red circuit thing, like, they were the most precious thing. Like, I knew, like, I had to make a lot of those fuckers, those little pieces of shits. They take forever, and they're like everything. So you'll see. I'm just gonna. There's like 4 different pieces of the base, but I didn't remember how all it fit together. Other than like, I knew there was an assembler, and like I knew there were different like upgrades. The only thing I remembered in general was that, like, there's people that went way too far with this game, and like I started to do that, and then it sucked my soul dry because I was like, yeah, you could make it so it's like all linear and crap, but it's not. The fun part of this game is like, oh fuck, like I need a resource and I don't have it yet. Yeah, and then like I have to squeeze it in and try to make it all fit and work. And this looks all organized and stuff, but like you get to like with square, like look at the squirrely little like piece of shit right here. Like what does that make? That makes no sense at all. Like why did I do that? I was just like, I need to get it on like that side of the conveyor belt, but I don't have a way of doing that. But then wait, this is other materials like over here. Yeah, and then it all goes over here. So like this is the beginning base where I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this, and then like these things are like upgrade pieces, and then like, oh wait, you gotta provide power, so it's like producing all sorts of crazy steam and shit, and then you're like, oh wait, I ran out of resources, so I need to pump more crap in there, more steam, more resources, more power, and then solar panels, okay, yeah, more steam, more power, more power, more power. It gets crazy. You're like, you go back and you're like, oh shit, I have a problem. And then there's fucking trains in this thing. They're like bringing resources to you, unloading stuff. And let's just pop on this thing for 2 seconds here. So you can like, everything's customizable, and you're just like, boom, I want to just drive this way. So you get on train, and this is the second place I went to. So this might be a little longer than I expected. It's going a little slow. It's got some materials. So you know, there's something about driving on the train that you're just like, okay, this is relaxing for like half a second. So I'll jump out here for 2 seconds. And then I was like, I need this resource which requires water and like oil, which is only in this spot. So I'll build the train out here. Yeah, that took about like, 6 hours or some crap. I don't care anymore. Who cares about that shitty spot?
So wait, that area took 6 hours-ish, roughly?
I would probably say like realistically it's probably more like 3, but like figuring out like can I go there without being attacked, and like do I need to build any other crap, and like I need more rail.
I didn't see any attacking, so that's what these bug things are.
Oh, well, how'd you know about bugs? I didn't tell you anything about bugs.
Them in the outside.
Oh, the
and
dead?
I also noticed that one of your upgrades was for robot companions or something like that, and like
yes.
companions or something. Yeah, and I was like, why would you need that?
Oh, there's one right now. Look at that. Oh, I just killed it. Oh, there. So there's an element to this that I'll finish it off with. But yeah, those are all dead bugs. So like, I also remembered that like, I build like you can automate things in such a way. I move your face here that like you can do these little like blueprint things, and then you can copy, and it's like okay, I just copied that, and then you want to build it here, right?
Okay.
All right, so that's like you can skip over things. So if I were to build, let me just
do it over the bugs.
Yeah, you can just like get rid of those bugs. But like, wait. This is a nuts part of it. Like you don't know this game, but like if you put this over here, like yeah, that's legal, right? And then boom, these little robots come out and build it for you. And then
so your workers, your crew are robots. So you use your resources to pay for them or fuel them or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they can destroy things too. So you don't get those in the beginning, but I knew to cheat and give myself those.
Of course.
And I was like, fuck clicking on all this crap. Like, imagine how long it would have taken
to do that even again. All of this.
Yeah. So, skipping ahead to this is like the coup de grace. Like, this is the, like, I'm going to zoom out here. This is nuts. Like, it's a circuit board. This is what that is. Like, it's mining shit. It's pumping shit. It's creating more of these frickin' green things because you use 1 billion of them to make more red things, which make more blue things, which then the blue things go all the way over there to make more stuff. And, there's another train, but that one's faster because it's nuclear powered. And then...
Of course it is. Folks, it's nuclear powered.
And then, I don't take pride in this, but there's like rockets and there's satellites, and that's your end goal. Get off the planet. You're infested by bugs, you need to get off the planet. You're also producing a lot of like pollution, and the bugs don't like that.
Yeah, I figured that. Steam and... so that drives the bugs crazy?
Yeah.
When you produce all this steam and shit, so the bigger you get, the more attacked by bugs you'll get, in a way? So you have to divert your resources into defending your resources and your things.
Yes.
You know that's all feedback loop.
Yes, of course. You get stuck in a giant loop where you're like, oh, well, I wish I had more of that white stuff. Oh, but there's only 2. I wish I could fill up like all this pink like ore stuff. And I'm just going to drive all the way over here. And I made this the whole base. Oh, there's oil and stuff. And then this is like, you get the feel of like, oh, this stuff is like, it's petering out. Like I'm not filling all this stuff up. And then there's like a ratio and like, I wish it was all going really fast and then like going faster, and then you just end up sitting and staring at just like this stuff, just watching it like try to fill up.
It's so weird because this looks like work to me.
Exactly.
Work.
There were points when I was actually legitimately like, this is like a waste of my time. Why am I playing this?
Work. You were literally streamlining a process. You were literally doing what most jobs in America are, streamlining processes.
This is more difficult than most jobs.
Logistics. Yeah, it literally is a job. Like you're doing logistics, you're doing streamlining your resources, you're doing payroll, you're accounting, you're trying to figure out what you're spending your most on, how you can cut your resources, what you can do to like defund a different area. You were doing like, that's what The Sims is, essentially. And Factorio.
Yep.
Excuse me. Not saying it's not.
Oh, what the fuck happened here? Anyway, all those damn bugs.
Wait, do you control one guy?
Yeah, you're just one guy the whole time. You're actually running. You didn't see that because it was crowded in like machines.
You were that crowded, you were just flitting around. Oh my god, dude, what is this area?
Nuclear resources. So it like creates these little like fuel rods, which are really rare. They pump into here, you create heat. It's more efficient and clean steam.
To dissipate the heat.
Yeah, okay. And then these are generators. And just skipping over all this stuff because no one cares about Factorio because it's an old game and it looks like shit nowadays. Yeah, so I eventually spent that much time doing all of this. This is the base. I just figured out you can zoom in.
Up top? Zoom out.
So like all of that is like
yeah. What was that?
All the bugs.
Oh, is that what they are?
Those are all bug colonies.
Not the red. The yellow things, the caution signs or the settings.
That's like the robots don't have a material to replace it. So
they die.
It tells
dead
you.
Robots?
Yeah, there's a blueprint for it, and if your robots see that it's damaged, they'll repair it or they'll replace it if they're in range. I don't know why they don't. I don't get it.
Wow.
I just left that blink because it drives me nuts. It gets under my skin, and I'm just like, everything's blinking. I don't have that.
Hell yeah!
It makes you
under your skin. Mm-hmm.
It makes you have to try to repair something. Oh,
interesting.
See that little bullet?
Oh, there's an attack. Is that what the red is?
Yeah, the best part, and that's another thing with this game is you don't get the satisfaction of killing.
Because your robots kind of do it for you automatically.
Your robots kind of do it for you automatically, and it's the bugs aren't very challenging. They don't have a super AI. It's expected. It's
sure
a game of 10 years ago. It doesn't feel I don't think even the AI feels like it's tricky at all. Anyway.
But if you added that element to it, wouldn't it just be more work?
More frustrating, yeah. You might feel more rewarded, maybe.
If you completed it.
Yeah. Yeah, you might feel like I conquered it. I don't know that I feel like I conquer a game anymore. I don't know, a single player game. I don't know. This is like EverQuest. So I guess this boils down to gaming addiction. EverQuest. I played for 72 days on a single character.
Wow, I can't even.
That's back in the early 2000s when you required a constant internet connection to play the game.
Oh wow!
He has a dial-up. That's the time on a phone. It's crazy.
Jesus, that is nuts.
It's one character, and my other character I probably played. I have a special thing that lasers things. I can't get through this damn forest. The one of
that bug.
Stupid forest. Destroy it with fire.
You can do that. What a dick.
Grenades. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to show you how. This is the last 2 minutes of the game. But yeah, I played for 72 days. I probably played over 100 days of EverQuest, which I understand it because it's your avatar, it's your secure space. You have your own little world, and you can improve yourself, right? You're constantly trying to improve yourself.
Sure, I didn't do that with that game, but Skyrim, same idea.
Yeah, Skyrim is the same thing. Where you're I'd try this new sword to see how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
The most, what I'm going to finish with is conquering this game is the little blast, that just killed a base, because I have these artillery things, and it just killed the bugs there. So my suit will kill them, but the most rewarding part I found was that I had a bunch of artillery on this side. These bugs can never bother me. For some reason, you get demented when you play these games, and you're oh, I want to. This is your inventory, by the way.
Trouble. I'm going to invite trouble.
Your inventory is insane. You can never find anything either, even though it highlights it. Let's see. You can use the artillery to fire on anybody, and
so you were trying to find trouble. You're trying to find something.
Yeah.
To make you feel alive.
Make me feel more powerful. Those poor little bugs. How dare they? There's children bugs running around. They're just playing in the fields in the middle of the alleys, and then you can just bomb the crap out of them. And this is the final hey, I got you guys. Screw this game. You can just fire as many as you want until you run out of bullets, and it's just unloading on the bug colonies right there. And they're trying to flee. This is them trying to run away.
Yeah, in smaller units.
Yeah.
Breaking apart. Wow.
And I'll just yeah. It's just so. It's weird because it's just little blocks, and it makes you feel powerful, but it's so there's nothing tangible there.
Can you zoom in on them or no?
Oh, I guess I can. I guess I can because I have a little radar. So see those little. Oh.
I mean, there's got to be a lot of dead bugs over there. Regardless, if your GPU can handle it. Oh shit, dude. Oh, dude, whole families of bugs getting just rocked. I kind of feel bad for the bugs. Not gonna lie.
Okay, let's get out of this game here. More bugs.
I mean, you think about it. You got a lot of copper. You got a lot of pollution. They're just trying to live their life, and here you are, firing on them with full caliber. Who knows what?
Okay, so how was my time on that one? Let me see how much time I spent in that game. 25 minutes now. We've been at it. Okay.
Did we do that long? Okay.
Yeah. So that's we probably did that for maybe 20 minutes. There's a 5-minute intro, but
Yeah.
that's also what happens. It's like you get in that world and you come out and it's hours later and you go, shit, like, glad I didn't have anything to do. Or maybe I did, and I don't care.
I think we touched on it with OCD, where it affects part of your brain where you have to keep doing something or you have to fix something. We also touched on it in escapism, where you have to get away from something, or you have to put yourself in a new life, in a new world, immerse yourself in everything. Have we talked since you played the game with the fish heads and everything? We talked about that, didn't we?
You mentioned it a while ago, I think, with escapism.
I didn't know if you had talked about it since.
What Remains of Edith Finch.
Thank you. Yes, I couldn't remember the actual name.
I knew you were struggling there. That was one of my favorite. I want to tell people that, but you can't convey it.
I know, you have to actually physically play that game, because there's a playing the game while chopping fish element, and a storytelling element, and an artistic element. Like the art, I like how the art starts really crappy and like 2D, and like you can barely see anything, and then by the end it's like super 3D and gorgeous graphics and beautiful, and you can barely see the fish heads that you're still chopping.
You're moving your right hand to chop fish hands the whole time. Fish heads.
Yeah. Yes. And you're still chopping those fish heads, and there's a song playing, and I actually enjoy the song, and I feel like I was a king.
Yes.
Up till the end, right?
Yeah.
You're still on share screen. You can probably switch it to
I'll
whatever.
switch it for you. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. That's good.
I don't care. I just don't want you to, everyone to figure out your secrets. Like what's that? Big wienerporncom? I don't even know what that is.
I wish it's a real. Can everyone go to that site? Well, I'll register it for you if it's not there. Big wienerporn.
Thank you.
I'll just say it.
.com.
.nick.com. And then
.nick.com.
But yeah, you're right. Like the What Remains of Edith Finch, like that storyline. I think that story out of all of them was by far the best, because it pulls you in because you're doing something monotonous that you ignore while you're doing like into the story. You are him, 100%.
Yes, and it's funny because that's the best a video game can be. A video game can, at its greatest ability, make you become a character.
Forget that you're the character.
In doing a monotonous thing, yes. It's both.
Yes.
So like most video games are kind of monotonous. What you're getting at is like, and you can have fun with a monotonous game. We will not say otherwise, because good Lord knows you love some monotonous games. But that is like peak video game, where you combine a little bit of like freedom and a little bit of there's no freedom. I mean, actually, technically, you can't not win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a walking simulator. So it's the ultimate, like, just press forward or left and you're going to win. Like, you can't forward the story by losing.
How
like,
sad
it won't
is
let
that? You just like you 2 keys, just like push those 2 keys, and then you're done. Like if you want to boil it down.
Yeah, but it's the most fun pressing 2 keys. Like technically like 3 or 4 with that one.
Yeah. Oh boy. Serious. Oh yeah, 3 or 4. You might have to go back. There's no way walking simulator 3.
Yes. But honestly, that's crazy that's the best part of video games, and it's 3 buttons. And you can't lose, and there's no timing. There's no timing to it, right? You just chop the fish whenever you can.
For you.
Get rid of the old
the game waits for you, like a good friend.
Like a good friend. So you mentioned that at the beginning.
An old friend.
It's like, what is a good game? What's a bad game? What's monotonous and what's not? I mean,
so I'll go back to like EverQuest, MMO, RPG, and the reason why I like that game so much is I didn't have a driver's license, so I couldn't go anywhere. It was probably like, I probably started in the middle of summer, but I'll say the middle of winter. It's probably dark and cold, and it kept you warm because the computer was putting out a lot of heat.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard. For real?
Nice toasty room. And
wait, did it really?
Yeah, I did. And I had a nice hot room every night.
I wonder if that
messes with your psychology a little bit.
Of course. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, also like seeing, I don't know, actually going to visit friends, like required effort. And school night, like if you had free time to kill, like what were you gonna do? You're gonna play a board game or spend time with your family or watch a movie or play a game? And it's like, which one of those? I'd probably play a game. more interactive.
Yeah. My son is addicted to video games, essentially. I mean, he's not addicted to it, but I mean, he likes it better than everything else. And can I argue with him? Like, it's like,
you have to trump his addiction with better addictions.
But like, think of the addictions I can offer him. He's like, oh, I want to play Mario Kart 8 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's a sweet game. And he's like, or Overwatch, and I'm like, yeah, that's a cool game. And I'm like, but your mother and me think you should play Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shoots and Ladders.
Even worse. Like, you put it in front of him, and he's like, okay, what does it do?
Let's play Yahtzee.
Your imagination is the key. You move a piece on the board and roll this dice. And he's like, this is fucking corny. Like, he doesn't say that because he's 5. But like, I can see it in his head. He's like, I can't play the game, and I'm like, no, we're having fun tonight. So like, you can't go backwards in evolution or technology. Like, he wouldn't even have fun playing NES games. Like, he's playing, like I just mentioned, like Overwatch and like Minecraft and stuff where you can build and create and do all sorts of crazy stuff and have crazy stories and amazing graphics. And it's like, how do we tell a kid? I mean, well,
amazing
create and build,
create
and build. Okay. How do I tell a kid that, like, no, don't play games, which are fun and awesome and have cool graphics and like flashy stuff, but do something less fun? And I'm admitting it right now. Like, the things I want them to do are less fun, but I'm like, do less fun things because you're going to override your serotonin. Yeah. Think of that.
You're never going to feel happy again. That's why I kind of feel like when my kids are addicted to YouTube, it's like you accept that as like reality, and it's like the laugh tracks on that creep me out. It's like intentionally designed to be colorful and bright and action filled, and like it doesn't hurt you at all. It never hurts you. You're in a safe space. It's like this is not reality, and like sometimes the things that hurt you make you better. They build your character.
I don't disagree with you at all, but I also say, isn't that what half the games we played are designed for, or half the shows we grew up on? So I mean, how is it different? Is it better at doing that? So it's like scary because it's like
more distilled,
this is like
perfected.
Well, it's like a killing machine for serotonin. It's like we're creating these games and YouTube videos that are so good at entertaining that there's an endless stream of them, and we figured out the key to making a perfect game or a perfect YouTube video that will entertain anyone from age 3 to 33. And guess what? We're giving them to your kids now. And I'm like, it scares me because I didn't have that until, I don't know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
A constant stream of entertainment. Like, when was the first time we actually considered it? Like, when did Netflix actually like stop sending you stuff in the mail?
Somewhere. I forgot Netflix did that, dude.
It's a disc, yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, somewhere between Netflix and YouTube, and probably YouTube. I mean, because that's what kids start on, right? Is when we had this stream of perfect, when we want it, how we want it, give it to me.
Yep.
And it ties into why we love video games, which is you push a button, it does what you want. It gives you just enough surprise, I guess, to keep you moving forward, but also just enough what you think it's going to give you. Mm-hmm. Higher levels, better score, more money to buy power. New outfits, new power.
Makes you feel
it's
strong.
Weird. I don't know if that's what you want so much as that's what you think you want. I don't know.
I feel like the reason why I played so much EverQuest was that there was an infrastructure there, and there was I think they called it a guild, where you had like maybe like there's probably like 50 people in the guild, and there might have been like actual like online friends, which I think now is like more commonplace.
That's passé now. Yeah, back then, that's a rarity.
Yeah, that's a pedophile is what my mom would say. So, but
a few of them could have been.
Yeah, they could have been. But you know, there's a network there that was like larger than your own, and I think back then it's hard to justify that as like a real social network. And you know, I think now people see people as like, if they're an online presence, like they can be a legitimate person. Before, I don't think you could envision an online person as a legitimate person. They were just like, especially in my parents' minds, like they were just some fictitious character, like they were a bot.
here's what's going to cook your noodle, and we could probably do a whole episode on it, but like I have a screen name from AOL or like from whatever. It's also my name? Twitch username.
Well, like, summarize it. What was it? Wait, what was the beginning of it? Your AOL?
My first one was Nickberg after Goldberg. 13. Yeah, that was my very first one. No one even knew it. So then I changed it to Soul Reaver 6 without the second E, if you recall. Yeah, now you do. But anyway, like now it's even crazier because that's your Twitch name and that's your like Switch name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like your fake identity, but it's also more real now. Because if you just had one name that was like Soul Reaver 6 and you were on bodyweightliftforums.com or whatever, and like, you know, posting, people are like, this is fucked up. But if you look him up, you'll find his Twitter. You'll find like his Facebook. You probably won't find his Facebook. You'll find like all these other, his Instagram maybe, is one letter off. Like, do you know what I mean? Like people have, exactly. You have all these presences and all these media accounts and Reddit and whatever, and you can literally find these people, and it's the same person in 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different realms, and it kind of makes them a more filled out person, like closer to a real person than what your parents think is a pedophile, because it's just one guy with a weird name posting on a workout website or whatever on how to get some gains. So we're becoming more and more real online. We're becoming more and more an entity in the digital world, and that's why it's weird that we're getting more consumption from there. Like starting with my fucking kid, he's 5. He has a Gmail, he has a Switch account, he does not have a YouTube. I think he has one more account. I forget what it is.
He's just gonna have these things and he's gonna inherit them.
But exactly, he didn't pick them. He's 5. He can barely spell, but I had to make it for him so he can play and find his goddamn friends. Who's like a 12-year-old he knows and an 8-year-old he knows, who are never going to play with him, but I'm not going to, you know what I mean? We can add
Your
them.
friends don't like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they don't want to play with a 5-year-old who doesn't have a microphone. Even if he did, what would we say? Like, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, exactly. But in a year or two, is my kid going to be playing with other 5 and 6-year-olds or 6 and 7 at that point? Yeah, probably. He's playing Overwatch. He started talking about like making killer headshots. And his favorite things to me, and it's not, it's a little disturbing from the whole violence and video games things, but he's not a violent kid. Like, I don't think he's whatever. What's funny to me is that his favorite memories now, and he's only 5, are funny things that happen in video games that happened that I was there for, or someone else was there for, or he remembers. And it happened to me when I was 14 or 15. I'm like, yo, remember when we all had that overnight raid and we fucking, and the game glitched out and we did this, and like, I'm laughing. But he's only 5 or 6, or he's gonna be 6, and he's gonna be like, Dada, I had a match where I went 15-2, and all I did was use my shield to stab people or smash people. And I'm gonna be like, that's so messed up. And then I'll remember exactly what me and you did, and we just had stabs only. And I'm like, you're just doing it younger, and it's weird. I don't know if it's cool or not. I don't know if it's the same. It's just they're younger.
Do you think they level up faster? That they'll be just like kind of jaded by the time they hit their teens, and they're just like, come on.
I kind of think that, because I mean, human nature is always going to be human nature. It's always going to win. But even as the technology gets better, like they're going to be like, oh, I used to play MMOs back when I was a kid. And that's him at 12. Whereas when I was 12, I would never say anything like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the next generation's gonna, the next generation is just gonna talk about video games like a commodity. Like, do you already notice when you read a review on IGN or something? It's like, it's an MMO that's basically this game meets this game, and this is the glitch, and this is the caveat, and this is the feedback loop, and it tells you right there. Whereas when I was 12 and I played a video game, I didn't think about the feedback loop. I didn't think about whether it was an MMO or not. Or, do you know what I mean?
I feel like they're rarer and they're newer. Like they're fresher.
Yeah,
like you had like an original. It was like the first original.
Yeah, it was like awesome. It was so cool. Now it's like, this is made by X Studio. 5. You know, they made this game, and you know, they made this game. Yeah,
coming out on PS3, PS4, PS5.
It's using this engine right here. Remember this engine? It made like 7 games, and like I get it. Like financially, that makes sense, but But it's not like video games are as mysterious or rare.
Or an
They're almost
event.
like a thing. Right. They're a thing we consume and we enjoy, but they're a feedback loop. They're kind of like, we know what we're getting from them. We expect what we're getting from them. We already know the spoilers. We know the cheats. We know what's going to happen at the end,
Yeah.
but we consume them anyway because, like, I want that.
Have you played any VR games?
No, I actually haven't gotten into
No.
any VR. Have you?
Yeah, my buddy got one, and he set it up in his Oculus Rift. He set it up in, like, he had a free room, so he had a room entirely dedicated to VR, which I think is going to be the future. I think people will have a room dedicated to, like, video games.
It could be. Could be.
And there were two games that I remember. There's one, like, a zombie game where you're in a field and you're spinning into, like, 360 degrees, and you're shooting as they come at you. So you're constantly spinning and shooting, and trying to, like, take down the big guy who's coming at you. You got to shoot him in a certain spot. And the craziest part is that you're so, like, your brain is so engaged. By the time you're done shooting, you have no clue, like, where
Which
you are.
direction you're facing? Yeah. Of course not, dude. Of course.
And that's the simplest version of what's going on. But, like, you could be in, like, the corner of the room, like, you could, like, I've seen people, like, punch the wall by accident. It, like, warns you, but it is, like, it is so, it's not even a great game, but your brain just makes it real.
Your brain by a lot.
Yes.
It's super engaging your brain, because I think that's what video games are getting good at. They're getting good at being entertaining. Whether or not that's good or not is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Whether it entertains the OCD sections, the action sections, the horror sections, you can just tap in. I mean, it's the same. Video games are the new media to consume.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're like TV's and movie. Like, what genre do you want to watch? Like TV and movie are so good. Well, so are friggin' video games, right?
Imagine if you could, like, VR a movie and, like, just, like, try to, like,
be a part of it or change the outcome.
Yeah. Or look around the corner and be like, hey, no.
Yeah, you're in romantic comedy and you're like, anyway, so I'm gonna decide to have sex with your sister and see what happens. Like, you know what I mean? Or, like, you're in an action movie and, like, the guy has a gun and he says, what do you think I'm gonna do, punk? And you shoot yourself in the head. What would happen? I have no idea. Like, that literally makes me go, what the hell would happen?
That'd be amazing. I can't wait.
I think that's the beauty of video games versus any other media you consume, is that you control this outcome. You put an input and you get something back. Did you ever play the Stanley Parable?
The Stanley Parable?
Yeah.
No.
Half-Life engine. It's like you're an office worker and he wakes up from his office one day and everyone's gone. And you leave the office and there's a narrator the whole time. And you choose what to do. There's all these doors you can go through and it says Stanley chose the door on the left. And you can choose the door on the right. And the narrator goes, I said the door on the left. And a new door will appear and you can choose whether to go through that or go back. And essentially what happens is there's like 50 to 70 different endings to this game. And they all end with Stanley dying or being trapped or something happens to him terribly because he either ignores the narrator or he doesn't. But it's kind of cool. You should just Google that one. You might like the Stanley Parable.
I need the Stanley Parable and write that down. Well, we should capture it on video and then, like, put it in a podcast or something so that I can listen to it later.
It's very funny. I haven't beaten all the ways to do it, and it takes long to get to, like, say 20 minutes in and then choose an ending. So it's like, I don't know where the cutoffs are, but I would like to explore all the endings.
Is there a way to win?
Yeah, there actually is.
One single way.
Yeah, there is, but that's not the funnest way.
Did you read it in Nintendo Power and figure it out?
No, I think I figured this one out by myself.
What?
You turn off the machine and go out into the open world, and, like, that's your reward. But it's not as rewarding as, say, making the narrator make a video game because he's aware you're in a video game, and make a new one where a baby is on fire or something in the background. He's like, is this what you wanted, Stanley? Stanley, would you like a game like this instead? And it's like a baby crawling through fire. And, like, all this weird shit. And you're like, whoa. So you can't even shoot or anything. You can only press a button or walk. So it's pretty hilarious.
Wow.
But anyway, like that's the beauty of video games.
Someone's imagination just crapping images all over you.
But it's what you put into it and what it gives you back.
Yeah.
Which you don't get from, let's say, movies and stuff. You can't input into a movie or a TV show and get a different answer or a different response.
It tickles the itch.
It kind of does. Don't get me wrong. You mentioned earlier they're kind of monotonous. Like, you can do whatever and expect, you know what to expect. It's a program. There's nothing like...
Yeah, like Factorio is a pyramid on top of a pyramid on top of a pyramid, and you're just building more pyramids until you get to the peak, which is not a peak. It's just dull. It's a rounded edge.
The next pyramid. You're right around here. Yeah.
It's duller and duller until you're like, what am I doing? Which really leads me into, like, I was playing this game and I just, like, I did it because I was stuck at my desk with my kids, standing there watching YouTube, and I was like, I want to do something, but I want to escape. Like, I watch movies enough, I listen to music enough. It's the thing that's just like, I can be interactive with it and express some sort of creative nerve that I have. So why not just do it? But then doing it doesn't really lead to any satisfaction. So it's not really like I'm getting my serotonin.
Here, I'll put it this way. I think it does while you're playing. But I think the more you play it, the less... The
more reflective you become, and you're like,
Well, and the higher the reward is, like, you know, that it's like 90% of games right now on phones are.
Oh,
like,
let's talk about that.
Yes.
Want to do like a Clash of Clans version or like the shittiest version possible?
Either way, and Clash of Clans was only fun because of the social aspect. We had an actual clan.
That
was hilarious.
You felt the pressure of people watching you. That was the best. That was the pinnacle. It's like you had to beat this one guy, and you had to use all your resources to do it in a sequence. There's time involved that like you had to do it.
Like,
you could have just dropped that thing right there. And
you remember you could spam hogs?
That felt so good.
About that did feel really good. They eventually fixed it a little bit, but spamming hogs was one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Just a little in the right spot.
And they would just jump over all the walls and just start hammering guys.
Whack. And then the one
bombs is what got them, right?
Yeah, they upped the bombs.
Yep, against that.
But it was so rewarding to like manage the clan and like tell people like, okay, hit this guy, and then like have like one thing left to like one hit left. Yeah,
you have this. You have one hit left. You have to hit number 18. And then would they default? Would they not do it? Yeah. Would they listen to you? Would they do it and fail? Like a number 4 hitting an 18, like a J-Lo or someone like, oh,
not a dick.
You know. Yeah. It was...
I missed that. There's like... As weird as the glory days, yeah. Because I don't think you get that now. Hey,
rewind a cassette. Hey, what's a W2? Kick. All these people getting kicked out of the clan. There were people in our clan that were there for months that were totally like splinter cells or just kids or what was it, the rich big-breasted Australian woman.
Yes. And then there's like these guys from Turkey. There was like a group of like 3 of them from Turkey, if you remember them. They were really good, but they were just like arrogant, and they popped. They disappeared. So what's interesting with that game is that game caused me to bot. That was the first game.
Your first bot? No shit.
I think that was my very first, like, actual true bot that was like real time. So if that game didn't exist, I would never get back into programming. I wouldn't have the job I have now. So props to that game. I also like developed like, I don't know, a dozen other bots to take care of all these other things, just like Factorio. Automate the fuck out of it. I wouldn't have that without the game inspiring me to do something that was just like, let's do this thing because it makes sense in my brain to help other people. So let's like make this thing happen.
0010.
You want hogs? What are you trying to get?
No. What did you have to type? Try and remind me because I'll remember as soon as you tell me.
It was all the characters like that you could order.
Were a 1 and a 0. I understood that, but
it was an order of.
Did you have to type something before that? What was the chain to command it? Wasn't there something to start it?
So there was, for the people who have no fucking clue what you're talking about, is that there were certain key commands that you could type in, and it would like be like, "What do you want?" and it would like tell you like it would detail this stuff in chat. It'd be like a little manual that opens up, and people are used to bots now, but it didn't exist for Clash of Clans until I made it, and then it was like, yeah, I forget. I think it was like, I forget what I made it. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. It's like I made
sticky.
it.
I'm just curious, dude. I was trying to get nostalgic.
There's no way that I'll remember that detail because I forget those things. Those things go in the trash in my brain. I don't.
They're my favorite parts. And then I remember like hogs like the 00001 000 or 00001.
What I feel the best about is when I see someone request what was asked and it completely fills it in half a second, faster than a human being could.
Yeah, 100%. Because did you also build your farm so that it would have equal amount of everything, kind of?
Yeah, I had enough to fill up like 1 or 2 people entirely. So if like 2 people needed to hit immediately, like you have 1 minute to go, like do I have the resources? Can I get this stuff? It's like, yeah, like your stuff is right there. So you
lava
be like,
hounds and shit.
Yeah,
lava hounds. That's a 30 person fill spot right there.
They changed the game so that it was like instantaneous, so that you don't have to wait 30 or 45 minutes, which is destroys the game because preparation is part of it.
But also the game destroys itself when you wait 30 and 40 and 50 minutes for all this stuff. Like it's hard to.
When you sell your company for like $1 billion, like some bad things are going to happen.
Nice.
I really want to look up how much supercell sold for.
I was going to say single cell, supercell. Either way,
it was the icon starter.
That was one of those grind games where you collect resources, you click on the thing, you can build bigger resource builders, you can build bigger resource holders. Does this sound familiar to anyone? You build bigger armies. They cost money, gold and purple stuff. And go ahead, how much do you sell for?
Supercell is valued at more than $10 billion.
10 billion? What kind of microtransactions are people doing?
It generated $2.3 billion in revenue in 2016 alone.
That's nuts.
Did
the number go up though? I feel like it couldn't have gone up from there.
I feel like that was the peak. Like I don't know when 2016 was because I was. No, it must have. I don't know.
16, 17, dude. It's probably when we were playing.
I don't know. 4 years. It's like that seems too soon. I think I quit
in 16, 17, somewhere in there.
Maybe that's when people. When was
that's when they were making commercials and shit. Remember?
That's insane.
I haven't seen a commercial for it since.
I want to make video games and make that much money. But
anyway,
there's another piece of that. So mobile games, there are mobile games that are just like copy and paste of other games. You ever see the like lemonade stand? Click like 100,000 times to like make your lemonades.
And then you make a lemonade builder that makes lemonade faster, or a lemonade holder that holds more lemonade. It's the same idea.
Oh, that's awful. I was like, if I wanted to play this game, it would have to be through a bot. Like, the first thing I would do is be like, you gotta click 1 billion times. Like, just click 1 billion times.
You're the funniest thing where you're saying, yeah, I would love to play that game, but only through a bot. Like, so I would love to play the game,
not play this
by not playing it, which is hilarious.
Which is, defeats the purpose, right?
It does, but these are the games of diminishing returns, as we'll come back to a lot. It's these games where this new troop that you can unlock, or this new weapon you can unlock, is 5 million, which could take you 2 weeks to get, which is a long time in video games. And then the next weapon unlock is 17 million, and then you're like, that's a pretty big difference. That's going to take me like a month.
Yeah.
Yes. And your reward is like an amazing thing, but the cost is so much, and the time invested is so much that eventually you're like, if I quit today, fuck it, I'm free. Damn. And you're like, but I can't quit. I invested so many hours, and I'm level 80, and nobody else is level. Everyone's like level 10. Like, I'm 80. I gotta stay playing.
Sunk cost fallacy, right?
Yes, exactly. Which is a gambler's fallacy also, but same idea. And you've already put so much time and effort into it. You can't walk away from this, because then you're wasting your time and any money and effort you put into it.
All of that, yeah. Did you put any money into Clash of Clans?
Yeah, I think a 20 spot. At one point in my life, I put $20 on something.
I think
it bought me a lot of gold or whatever you get from that. Yeah.
I had multiple accounts, so I think I did like the 20 spot, like it was the prudent thing to do.
Because there was a time when it gave you a lot of money. I think it was like a holiday sale, and I was like, "Let's do it."
Yep. So I think I did that with like 3 accounts. So like maybe I spent $60 to $100 on a game that was free.
And also, how long
preface.
did you play?
For
Year and a half?
years. Like 3 years.
More than 2? Was it 3? Good Lord. You got your money's worth, technically.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile.
Made friends.
Entertainment per hour. Yeah. I still can go back on there and they're like, hey, I kind of want to now. It makes me nostalgic. But
that's what.
How much can you share with a friend that you haven't talked to in 4 years?
Exactly.
And you don't actually know them in person.
Not at all.
Pedophiles.
Actually, what's her name? What's her name?
What, dude?
I'm friends with her in Snapchat. Every now and then I see her Snap, she sees mine. But it's like just a random person who like...
Is that the welder's wife?
Yeah. No, the Welsh.
Oh, you...
Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence.
Yeah, I remember her.
Anyway, that's funny, because I was friends with her, and like once in a while she'll see my Snap process, and she's like, you're a different kind of funny. And I'm like, holy crap, how you doing? It was like 7 weeks ago, and I was like, what?
She was like 18 or something at the time, and then she must be...
Yeah.
Holy fuck, how old? It's like,
24?
she's gonna be like graduated from college now.
Probably. Uni. Graduated from uni.
Probably pregnant. Married with kids.
Not going on vacay. What do they call it? Going on... That's kind of cool, too. Like, these people from, like, Australia or, like, Welsh or whatever, and they called it different things, and we got used to saying their slang.
Yeah. Instead of, like,
a way of communicating with the world. Not uni.
Bachelor party, and then they call...
They did have different words for all that shit.
It's a type of bird or something.
Sure.
It's a squawk or something. I don't know.
Walk, walk. Squawk, walk. Anyway.
That's not it.
Most video games now do have that thing where they're either never ending and you do a sunk cost and it's exponential curve to unlock the new stuff, and eventually you just either have to quit or you've been playing for 8 years and you invested so much that you feel like now I really can't quit. Or they go the other way. They're very easy. Do you notice that? Mm-hmm. I'm not just talking from a millennial generation.
Accidentally click anywhere on screen, it counts. You're good.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, you played Mega Man 2 and you stepped the exact inch of a wrong way on a bot that was in midair and you had to go over. You're dead. Game over.
Get out of here. You're done.
You're
Restart.
Whole level, bitch. You ain't getting no practice points. It's like, wow.
This game is cruel.
Pretty rude.
Man, Battletoads Double Dragon, I can't... Left, right. Oh, no. Oh, man.
Hit a thing.
I launch across the screen and splat.
Over.
No.
In fact, you're out of continues. You have to start the game over.
Holy shit.
Wild.
I miss that brutality. Because that was...
You do, but there is a medium.
You would never play it again.
Told.
If that game came out today...
We did, though. Oh, of course,
Dark Souls.
We'd have other games to play.
I haven't played Dark Souls, but I hear that's the same way. And I desperately want to play that, but I can't put the time in.
We should do a thing where we play Dark Souls.
That's a good suggestion.
Because I've never played it either, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the most brutal game of our generation, I guess.
We've resolved ourselves.
Yeah, we have.
Dark Souls it is.
We should wrap it up because people have stopped listening or have started wondering about other games, and maybe they want to play games with us. We're doing a new feature where you can play games with us. Literally, we're going to put our socials at the end of the episode. Look us up, find our address, find where we live, find our house, knock on the door at night, come on in, let's play a video game. Just me and you, bring a gun, I don't care. Keep yourself safe. Not to threaten us. That's disgusting. Anyway, we want to play games with you folks. We want to play all night. So wrap it up. What are video games to us? What is Factorio? What is it?
Hope. Lost. And a time waster.
But a interactive one. It's like
it's friendly.
A movie that you interact.
Uplifting.
Always argue.
In a negative way.
I argue. How many arguments with girlfriends have you had where it's like, oh, you're just going to play video games? And I'm like, oh, you're just going to watch a TV show that sucks?
Yeah.
At least
Grey's Anatomy season 17? Come on now. How many people are going to die and get resuscitated? You have no effect on that.
Even if they're watching the Jersey Shore 10 years ago, like, I'm like, okay, like, there's entertainment value. I'm not even arguing with that. But who's being more productive? Oh, you're going to play games? I'm going to watch Jersey Shore. And it's like, I'm doing more work. I'm being interactive. I'm using my brain. Like, I'm doing stuff. You're just sitting there watching. So who's really doing more?
Yeah, I mean, Clash of Clans gave me a job that paid me a lot of money. Maybe I'll cash out and then play more games.
A lot of people do gym tan laundry, and they did all right too. So
that's okay, Nick. It's all right. You need to play more video games, Nick.
Maybe.
What are you doing with yourself, Nick? Play some video games. Come on now.
Too busy.
You're wasting your life, Nick. Play some video games.
You're right. So when it breaks it down, video games are ultimately a waste of time, but if you really break down everything, folks, and we're an uplifting podcast that loves to talk about hope and the future and everything, everything's a waste of goddamn time.
The only thing that's
everything.
Ultimate waste of time is the ultimate waste of time. Don't end yourself, people. Play a video game.
Play a video game. Who cares? So, with that, I say mention some video games we may have forgotten. Some video game tactics or something you want to put on there. Mention some video game characters you think are hot. I don't care. Just put whatever down there. I didn't talk to you. So, check our socials. Click on the links below. Donate to the Patreon, and we'll give you access to nothing.
No. Well, there's probably something we can give you. It won't be very rewarding, but I'm sure you'll somewhat enjoy it, and then be more intrigued to find out
you
more.
Might sound like a lot of my exes.
Hey, look, we found this, and it's da-da-da-da. Not interesting.
So, thank you for tuning in. We always look forward to interacting with our fans. They don't interact a lot, and I feel like it's because they're intimidated by our big brains.
Yeah.
We will read fan material online and berate it. Talk about the spelling errors.
I want to shit all over you guys. Please say something. Or not.
It depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you tell us what you want, we'll do it for you. If it's within legal reason.
Video games. Love them, hate them, I don't know, but we love you. We love you a lot.
Good night. Oops, that's the wrong one.